What's going on, guys? It's the Bigs Podcast, episode number 156. And today we're going to break down the final week of the regular season, week number 22. With me tonight from Denver, Colorado, the man that handles the research, he is Jason Ashby. Jason, it's the final week that we're going to be discussing all 16 teams as the playoffs have come. 4 teams are already finished up, another 6 are ready for the consolation bracket, and 6 vie for the championship. How are you feeling, Mr. Consolation King, the last couple of years?
Yeah, hey, thank you for that. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Except that I'm kind of worried that Ben is in the consolation bracket this year. So that makes me a little nervous, to be honest. Ben and Bobby. So I'm not sure about how this is gonna go this year with no roster moves. But I'm happy with where my team is, where I locked it at, and we'll see what happens. But man, oh man, what a wild finish. I'm happy. Congratulations to the 6 teams that made the dance. You all deserved it, and I can't wait to see who of you is gonna come out on top.
It's going to be a wild ride, but we've got 3 weeks left in the 2024 season before someone has their name etched onto our beautiful trophy. We will see exactly who that is going to be. But for right now, let's talk about week number 22. Let's start with the premier matchup here. We're going to start with Ben Nisman taking an 11-9 win over Bobby Russo. On Sunday, it looks like it was going in 11-9 in Bobby's favor. And Ben was able to flip strikeouts by a batter and on base percentage thanks to 2 Bregman strikeouts on Sunday. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what did it. And both those categories flipped, and Ben comes away with the Sunday comeback win.
Nice. Real nice. Uh, Close categories this week. Ben wins by a stolen base, a strikeout by a hitter, 6 ticks on the on base percentage, a loss, 3 home runs by a hitter by a pitcher, 2 walks by a pitcher, and 3 strikeouts by a pitcher. Bobby, to his credit, won by 2 runs, 2 home runs by a hitter, 7 ticks on the batting average, 2 2/3 innings, and 3 wins. This was razor thin.
It was, and we know how these two managers are. They're fighting for the last possible straw, and they were going tooth and nail, and it was just really fun to watch.
I mean, this needed to be a blowout in one way or the other in order for
Right.
it to impact the playoffs with how things broke down after week 21. That said, this was as competitive a matchup as you could ask for. Um, both these guys really pulled out all the stops to try to win as many as they could, and this is the result. You get something that plays to the middle,
Yep.
and
Yeah. I
it
mean,
keeps these 2 guys short this year.
both of them pitched very well. Both of them hit very well. So it was a very evenly contested matchup, and that's what you see in the score.
Mm-hmm. For Ben on his bench this week, he goes 10 for 29. That's a 345 average with 7 runs, 3 homers, 4 RBIs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, and an error. He also could have pulled innings pitched if he throws Nestor Cortez on Saturday, uh, but he didn't. We'll
Yep.
we'll have to someday hear about why that happened. But you know what? It's another strong. He gets the win regardless. Randall Grichuk apparently had a big day on Tuesday, so that's one guy that I know that's kind of been haunting him as far as like when he's able to give him playing time and when
Yeah.
he gets playing time in general.
Yeah, it was Grichuk. He had two homers on the bench, 3 RBIs that day. Um,
Wow.
Max Muncy did nothing, Juan Soto did nothing, Brandon Nimmo did nothing. So like there were places to get him in, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
In your mind you're not necessarily gonna start Grichuk over Juan Soto, maybe over Nimmo, but if you like the matchup, then you're not.
hmm His moves this week, he used 7 of them. He dropped Yariel Rodriguez for Michael Bush 0 for 3 and Carmen Majenski, who had a clean relief appearance. Michael Bush gets dropped for Adam Ottavino on a clean relief appearance. Ryan Stanek dropped for Trevor Larnach, 0-3 with 3 strikeouts. That's a terrific day. And Jorge Soler, 1-4 with a run and 2 strikeouts. Carmen Mlodzinski gets dropped for Dean Kramer, 6 innings, a win, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, nothing earned, and an 083 whip against Tampa. Good job, Benji. Great stream there.
Yes, because when I streamed Dean Kramer, he sucked. So good job there.
Yeah. And he drops Trevor Larnach for Mitch Spence, who was also very serviceable in his start against Detroit. His MVP this week is Luis Arraez. He had a 444 batting average with a 464 on base, 5 runs, 3 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and a walk. No strikeouts, no errors, only 1 walk, but it was a strong week from Arraez. Unfortunately, the trade piece that he coveted so badly in the first couple of days of the season comes back to bite him here in the final week. It is CJ Abrams as the least valuable hitter. It's 095 with an 091 on base percentage. A homer, 2 RBIs, a run scored, a stolen base, but 7 strikeouts. And I guess his only hit this week was that homer.
Yeah, and I think that even came on. Yeah, that came on Sunday.
Great. So he waited all week for that.
Yeah.
Terrific.
By the way, Luis Arraez hasn't struck out since August 10th.
Wow.
He doesn't have a single strikeout in almost in a month.
In a month.
Yeah.
That's insane. That is insane.
Yeah.
That's just like we were talking off air about like otherworldly talent. Like that's ridiculous.
Right. And so something to think about. If you were drafting a guy like that, then you can go ahead and draft somebody like an Elly De La Cruz, so you can kind of counterbalance, the immense amount of strikeouts you're going to get from him with a guy who doesn't strike out at all. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. Very impressive. Jack Flaherty was impressive this week. He's Benji's Cy Young, 13 innings, 2 wins, 3 walks, 13 strikeouts, an 0.69 nice ERA, and an 0.92 whip. The Cy Yuck goes to Phil Maton for ending the New York Mets winning streak, right? This is what this is?
Yes, because Ben pitched terrific, so why not? Maton sucked. So he blew that game on Sunday, ended the streak, and yeah, I was mad at him, so he gets a Cy Young.
Yeah, it's Ben's only loss of the week. He threw to a 1.76 ERA. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So
in the final week, you pitched that well. Well done, Benji. Well done.
Yeah.
The pitching came this week. The pitching came this week, and it showed. It showed. For Bobby on his bench this week, he goes 9 for 36. That's a perfect 250 with 5 runs, 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, a stolen base, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. The only thing that plays here is the stolen base that came from Joey Ortiz. Is that on Friday?
Yeah, and Alex Bregman was out of the lineup. It looked like there was time to make the switch, so I don't know, what maybe happened there, but that would have made a big difference in this matchup.
Yeah, it would have made it a 10-9 instead of an 11-9.
Yeah.
But
then he also could have had strikeouts. He had a couple he had a couple of starts on the bench. Obviously you're not gonna start Tanner Bybee against the Dodgers. And it was a loss. I get that. He also had a start against Bona Francis against the Phillies. Not gonna start him there either. But if he did, you could have had the strikeouts.
Yeah. His moves this week, he only used 4 of them, which is pretty surprising.
Yeah.
He dropped David Fry for Keibert Ruiz, 3 for 4 with the 2 runs, a double, a homer, and an RBI. He apparently had that guy's personal phone number.
Yep.
He dropped TJ Friedl for Wyatt Langford, 1 for 5 with a walk-off grand slam. Who was that off of?
Yeah. Wasn't that off of Clay Holmes?
Yeah, I think it was.
Right? That was it was against the Yankees. I know it was against the Yankees.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have had to be Clay Holmes then.
Yeah.
Yikes. Ben Lively gets dropped for Jacob Young, 3 for 3 with a run, a double, an RBI, and a walk. So he drops these 3 guys and gets a 6 for 7 out of the 2 guys he picks up, and then a 1 for 5 with a walk-off slam.
Yeah, not too bad,
Okay, not too bad, Bob. Good job. Good job. He then drops Addison Barger and Jacob Young for Lane Thomas, 1 for 4 with a double and 2 strikeouts. His MVP this week is going to be Keibert Ruiz, 429 with a 480 on base percentage, 5 runs, 4 doubles, a homer, 3 RBIs, a steal, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter is going to be Stephen Kwan, 053 with a 182 on base, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. The namesake of the team lets
Yeah,
him
and
down in the final week.
he has been kind of struggling the last month or so. It's really been really since the All-Star break. He's really kind of just hit the skids.
Mm-hmm. The Cy Young goes to Michael King, 6 innings and a win, a homer, a walk, 8 strikeouts, a 150 and a 117. And the Cy Young goes to Bobby Miller, despite 8 strikeouts. He went 5 innings and a loss, 3 bombs, 3 walks, a 1260 and a 160. This kid, they got to keep throwing him with all the injuries in their rotation, but like this kid, he's not effective.
No, he's got an ERA near 8. Like,
my goodness. At this point, I think they want to limp to the playoffs so that they can shrink their rotation down.
Yeah. And I was watching, I think I was watching the game against the Angels where he's giving up all these home runs, and you can just see the look of defeat on his face. Like, he was just wearing it, and they just left him out there for 5 innings just to get hammered by the Angels, and he just looked like he didn't belong.
Right. He's been an absolute mess. I know that this was somebody that Bobby was really high on this year, and he's not going to give up on this kid. But it might be time to, well, it's too late. You can't give up on this kid now.
Can't give up on the kid.
Can't give up on the kid now. He's there for the rest of the season. This is now our 7 and 8 teams going into the consolation bracket as Ben finishes with a record just over 500. I know he has a big piece of himself is proud of that he finished over 500 this year. Bobby, 1 game under 500. So you needed to be right around 500 when the season ended, like we were talking about all year. You know, you just want to get to 500 and then see where you are. Well, here's 500, and these are the teams that finished just out.
And I'm speaking for Ben, but I can imagine that look, if you're not going to make the playoffs, be the 7th and 8th seed and have a week off and just don't even look at fantasy, especially being in the consolation bracket. You can't make moves anyway, so there's nothing to look at. You just turn it off, and I'm sure after the last couple of weeks, he could really use that.
I think he could really use this break as well. I think this is a good week for him to just mellow out, not think about anything, and enjoy a week off from this. Because
watch the Mets and
watch the Mets and watch the if he wants to watch the show that's happening in the championship matchups, go ahead. But by all means, nobody's going to fault you if you just turn the whole app off. And
absolutely.
Let's move on to what is going to be a really weird matchup to break down, because we're going to be breaking it down again in 1 week's time. Let's jump to Jay versus Cody here as Cody, as it finishes in a 10-10 tie. My goodness.
Yeah. This is going to be, again, so they finished in 10-10 tie, and now they're going to play again in the quarterfinals. So it's almost as if it's just going to be a continuation of the matchup to see who's going to break this tie.
So the question that I have is, who has the tiebreaker? They had to have faced each other once earlier in the season. So I'm thinking that Cody won that matchup, if I remember correctly.
Cody did beat Jay in week 7, 12-9.
So Cody holds the tiebreaker. If this happens again next week, Cody will be going to the semifinals.
Wow. That is incredible.
That's important to know. You know, you see something like this and you need to know who's facing who. And this matchup, though it is interesting to look at, just at a macro level. The If this repeats itself, I could see a way that either one of them could go and try to flip a category.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this was really close, and it finished in a tie.
Yeah.
Um, on Sunday, it looks like it was 10-9 in favor of Jay going in, and Jay unties saves but loses strikeouts by a hitter, and there's our
Yep.
there's our 10-10 finish.
Yeah. Yeah. Incredible. Again, just an amazing way to finish the regular season with these two. And kind of, we talked about it a little bit off air, like kind of different mindset, right? Like Jay is a very savvy manager. He will pick up the kind of obscure guy. He will go, but like Cody's got this lineup that is just deep and strong and scary. So it's going to be a really interesting. It's really interesting to see how this plays out over this next week.
Yeah, I am not excited to face either one of these guys, and I'm glad that I don't have to until the championship round.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that they're going to knock one, and one of the other is going to get knocked out here, and I'm very happy to see that, because these are two very scary teams for what, like you said, very different reasons.
Exactly. Yeah.
Close categories this week. Jay wins by an error, a win, a save, 2 walks by a pitcher. Cody wins by 3 runs, a stolen base, 3 strikeouts by a batter, and a relief appearance. And they tied in triples with 0. Did you know that the team with the fewest triples on the season is this guy?
Really?
6 all year.
6 triples.
6 triples all year for me.
That's not a lot.
That's not good. That's not good. It's not good at all.
But you know what? You're in the playoffs, so
I'm in the playoffs. I made it.
Yep.
For Jay on his bench this week, he goes 7 for 31. That is a 226 batting average with 5 runs, 2 doubles, a steal, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 2 errors. Good job keeping the 2 errors out of your lineup, obviously. But the stolen base was on Sunday. What happened there?
He had it was Perdomo. So he benched a few guys for the night game, and I'm guessing it was to prevent errors. But Geraldo Perdomo was on the bench for that night game, and he had a stolen base. So that was it.
And you have to tie the category at fucking 9.
Right.
In stolen bases. I mean, come on now.
8 stolen bases wasn't enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think when I played Cody last week or week before, I had 6 and he had 10. And I'm like, I have 6. That should be enough.
Nope.
How annoying. JU 7 ads this week. He dropped Fuck Barmer for Dennis Santana for a clean relief appearance. Dropped JP Crawford for Tim Herron for a clean relief appearance. Dropped JP Sears, Osvaldo Beto, and Ryan Brazier for Rhett Lauder, who never pitched. Lou Bob, who went 0 for 5 with a strikeout. And John McMillan, 1 for an inning and a third, a win, a strikeout, and a relief appearance, all after the game started. So he didn't get him in his lineup, did he?
Nope, he did not. And he never pitched after that.
Nolan Shanuel gets dropped for Spencer Horwitz, 2 for 2 with a run, a homer, 2 RBIs, and an error off of Toronto's bench. So was he in the lineup?
He was.
Oh.
He was in Jay's lineup, and he didn't start the game for the Jays, and he came on and had a big day on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
You dropped Tyler Fitzgerald for JP Crawford, 2 for 4 with a double or an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. The MVP this week goes to, could this really be true, is Victor Robles.
I mean, look at this line.
That's a nice line. 438 with a 550, 7 runs, 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. That is pretty nasty of a line.
Yeah.
Churio did have 2 homers and 6 RBIs and 3 doubles, but he also struck out 7 times. This is a hell of a line from Victor Robles.
And I tell you what, like he picked up Luis Robert and he went over 5 that first day, but like he went 3 for 4 on Sunday. Like I don't know, he can get hot.
He
Um,
could. He could.
yeah,
I mean, it's unlikely. That
but
team's
it
going to
could.
lose 121 games this year.
Yeah, but I mean, he can still lose a game and hit a home run.
That's true. That's true. His least valuable hitter this week is his number one pick. It was Jose Ramirez, 174 with a 269 on base percentage, a run, an RBI, a stolen base, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The Cy Young goes to Shota Imanaga. Wasn't he part of a combined no hitter this week?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, 7 innings, a win, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, nothing earned in an 0.29. The Cy Young goes to a whole bunch of people, but Jay pitched to a 1.66 ERA, so it's like anybody who gave up a run.
Yeah, it's the 3 guys that he dropped. Like those were they were bad, so he dropped them.
Yeah, and it's 6 innings and a 7.50, 2 1/3 to a 7.71 across 3 relief appearances, and 5 1/3 to a 6.75. Like everybody else did not give up a run.
Yeah, those are the only 3 guys on his entire roster to give up runs this week.
Yeah. Go look at this matchup and go look at his lineup from top to bottom. It's all zeros in the ERA column until you get to people that he has dropped completely. It is wild to look at.
It's just crazy.
It's wild to look at.
Yeah.
For Cody on his bench this week, he goes 4 for 15. That's a 267 average, a double, 2 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, not counting Sunday because none of it played.
Well, and Sunday he benched like 90% of his lineup. He had like 2 guys in there, and he benched everybody else. So I didn't count that because, again, he didn't want. I'm sure he didn't want strikeouts there. He's trying to maintain the batting average, and so I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he played it correctly. I mean, he got strikeouts. He almost he missed out on getting errors, obviously, but there's nothing else he can do there.
Right.
But yeah, he kept batting average. He had a really, really strong offensive week, won most of the offensive categories.
Yeah.
And got the pitching categories he could in appearances, strikeouts, and innings.
Yeah.
No, Cody had a good week. It's just couldn't get the win.
Hard to beat a guy who throws to almost a 1.5 ERA, in 60 innings.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. He used 9 ads this week. He dropped Caden Dana for Spencer Horowitz, 1 for 5 with a run and double. So he goes he goes 2 for 2 with a homer and 2 RBIs for Jay, but 1 for 5 with a run and a double for Cody. I'd be mad about that. Like that's what I'd be mad about.
From Monday to Sunday.
Yep. He dropped Mitch Keller for Austin Voth, who has terrible in his relief appearance. He dropped Brennan Hanafy, who took a loss. So good job dropping that guy. For Derek Law, who had a clean relief appearance. And I'm kind of upset that guy's on Cody's team now. Guy on my team now, Justin Verlander, got dropped for Patrick Corbin, 5 2/3, a win, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, a 3.18, and a 1.76 in Miami. I had thought about doing that start too, and I was glad that somebody else decided to do it instead of me.
Yeah.
Because he's been good recently. He's been pretty decent recently. But he's an enormous hand grenade.
Exactly. And you knew it's only a matter of time until he blows up. And that was only the beginning of the blow up. The next start was even worse.
Yeah. Spencer Horowitz gets dropped for JT Chargois, who had a clean relief appearance. Austin Voth dropped for Josh Naylor off of waivers. I put in a claim. I think you put in a claim. Like
Mike Haber did. And nobody can understand why Lebo dropped him.
I mean, I did see that he went day to day for like a day.
Yeah.
But dude's got 100 RBIs. Like, why is he sitting out on free agency?
I don't know. I wish I knew. I saw that happen. I went, wait, what?
Yeah. Cole Sands gets dropped for Spencer Bivens, which was a bluff or a waste, I guess. Dropped Jake Berger for Caleb Ort, who had a okay relief appearance. He gave up a bomb over 2 innings. And dropped Spencer Bivens for Sean Jelly, who did not appear. maybe he was looking for a relief appearance out of Bivens and
I
figured out that he was starting and was like,
Yeah,
oh, never mind.
yeah. And the funny thing is I thought of doing the Caleb Ort. I had one ad left going into Sunday, and I thought of getting one of the relievers for either Houston or Arizona, for that night game. And I saw Caleb Ort, and I was like, no, not gonna do it. And he was bad, so I'm
Yeah,
glad.
he was bad. Good job keeping that guy away from your team. Key players this week, we'll talk about the MVP. That's Gunnar Henderson, who had a 417 with a 464 on base, 6 runs, a double, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 3 errors is gross when you lose the category by 1.
Yes,
But a shout
but
out to Julio Rodriguez as well.
yeah, I mean Julio finally showed up.
Yeah. After the big trade and him going on the IL for a period of time, and he was just a mess for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So nice to see him have a week like you expect.
Yeah. 313, 343, 8 runs, homer, 3 RBIs, Nice solid week from Gunner or from J Rod.
Yep.
The least valuable hitter, I'm sure you're happy to see this, is Royce Lewis. 182 with the 217, a double, an RBI, a walk, 5 strikeouts, and an error. This was the trade that you guys had at the deadline.
Yeah. It hasn't really worked out well for either of us. Isaac Paredes has not been good. He dropped Taj Bradley. Royce Lewis has been okay. So it's been a weird trade, but they're playing Royce Lewis at second base, which is interesting. So he's gonna get some dual eligibility there eventually.
Interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if he would move him to second base if he gained that eligibility, or if he would just stay put with what he's got.
I mean, Nico Horner is stealing bases again, so
Yeah.
it depends on the matchup.
Yeah, I guess so. The Cy Young this week goes to Bailey Ober, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, nothing earned, and an 0.14 whip. This is so much better than that one start he had a couple of weeks ago where
Hell yeah.
he got
This is
exploded.
And that one start was really just an outlier. Like if you look at his last few games, I mean, other than that 2 inning blast, 7, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, like this guy's a horse.
Yeah. You know who else is a horse, but might be ready to go out to pasture is Justin Verlander. 4 2/3, a loss, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, a 964 into 257. But I picked him up.
Yeah.
I picked him up. I was like, if they're gonna really push this, I may as well try it. I let him throw that start against Arizona on my bench because I wasn't sure he was going to do well, and he didn't. He gave up 8 because Pavin Smith hit a grand slam off of him.
And 2 home runs. Like, what?
He had 3 home runs in the game.
But
he had 3 in the game, Pavin Smith.
3, yeah, 3. All right, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, this Justin Verlander. So what was that? So what was the trade? It was Alonso and Verlander for Luis Gil, Tanner Scott, and Camilo Doval.
All right, Duvall's not closing anymore. Scott's like half a closer in San Diego,
and Gil's been okay.
Yeah, but he was hurt for a minute, and now I think they've got him in the. They're talking about putting him in the bullpen.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with him.
Because he's at an innings point where he hasn't thrown this many innings in his career before. So they're concerned about him there's talk of shutting him down or putting him in the bullpen for the playoffs.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, as far as that trade is concerned, I think Cody wins it with Pete Alonso alone.
Yeah, and I mean now he's got Josh Naylor to back that up too.
That's insane. That's insane. So now he gets to play either Pete Alonso or
Josh Naylor, and then
no, I'm looking at his utility spot, so I'm trying to figure out how his normal lineup would look. But that makes it even deeper. He just has Pete as his utility hitter now.
Yeah, because you put Yordan in left, and J-Rod in center, and you have Wallner and DeLuca on your bench.
Yeah, you're not playing those two over Pete Alonso right now.
Right. But damn, that's just such a deep lineup.
That's sick. This is a sick lineup. It could win a championship. It really could.
Yeah. And not for nothing. I mean, again, we talked about it. The pitching is not bad. I mean, no,
No,
there's no closers to speak of, but it's not a bad pitching staff
right,
with
right.
George Skubal and Brian Wu and Aaron Nola and Bailey Ober. Like, this is a good staff.
This is a good staff. The bullpen obviously is the weak point on this team. But you know what? He won relief appearances against Jay Ferraro this week.
Yeah.
So that says all you need to know.
And like, yeah, Jay pitched to a 166, Cody pitched to a 452. I mean, it's not great, but it's not
No. But
awful.
it will play sometimes.
Right.
It's on the higher end of yeah, that's okay enough to play.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next matchup here. It's yours, buddy. It's you taking on Mike Haber. How did that work out for you this week?
Yeah, this was an interesting one. And I was talking to him all week long about how, like, earlier in the season I faced you and him back to back and got my ass kicked. And I knew that I was gonna be facing you guys again back to back at the end of the season. And here we are where it doesn't matter, and I won both times.
Good
So
job, buddy.
I
I'm
guess I can
glad.
feel good about it.
You should. You should feel very happy that you beat both of us in the final 2 weeks of the season. Like that's something to hang your hat on.
Yeah. I wish, again, I wish it was about more prize than pride, but I'm happy with the pride.
Well, it's awesome to see you finish strong here. You were up 10-7 going in on Sunday. So what, Mike flipped batting average and took strikeouts by a hitter?
Yeah. Because I struck out 13 fucking times on Sunday. 13
Yikes.
strikeouts
13
on
strikeouts
Sunday.
on a Sunday.
Yeah, and that's been the thing, is like I feel like I have a really good Friday or a really good Saturday, and then Sunday everybody just takes Sunday off. But I did get doubles and I kept the victory.
Good job, man. We're proud of you. Anytime you know what, I would have been really astonished if Josh had gotten the one based off of this win. It would have been really interesting to see that happen, see that flip in the final week.
Yeah, that was the one thing that Mike was, he was, because he didn't want to break apart his team because he knew he needed it for the playoffs, but at the same time he really wanted the number one just because he's been up there forever, so he might as well keep it. But Josh was definitely nipping at his heels.
Yep, 16 weeks consecutively, Mike Haber sat atop the standings.
Unreal.
So yeah, he ran 16 straight this year after doing 22 straight in what was that 2021 or 2022?
2022, yeah.
Yeah. All right, close categories this week. Jason, you win by a double, and the win, 2 wins actually. Mike wins by 3 errors. 8 ticks on the batting average, 4 ticks on the on base percentage, 2 home runs by a pitcher, and 4 walks by a pitcher. That's a lot of close categories that could have gone your way.
Yeah, none of them did.
None of them fell. You guys tied in triples with 0, walks by a hitter, and losses.
Yeah.
For you on your bench this week, you go 5 for 20, which is a beautiful 250. 3 runs, a homer, 5 RBIs, a walk, 5 strikeouts, and 3 errors. The walk is the only thing that plays here. Where is it?
Wednesday, it was Isaac Paredes, and it didn't really matter ultimately, but he committed 3 errors that day. So I'm kind of okay that I didn't start him.
Yeah, I think you're fine with that. If you didn't lose walks because of it, you tied walks.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, I lost errors anyway by 3, but that's ugly to have 3 errors. And I watched them. I think 2 of them came in the same inning, and it was just ugly.
Wow. Yeah, he's not exactly the best fielder, but he does hit taters. So
sometimes.
Your moves this week, you used all 10 to set up for your consolation bracket run. I can just see you in the finals already, man. It's gonna be crazy. Kobe Mayo gets dropped for Kyle Manzardo 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Tyler McGill gets dropped for DL Hall, 4 innings in a relief appearance and 6 strikeouts. Very nice. Garrett Mitchell gets dropped for Jordan Walker 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Jordan Walker and Zach Littell get dropped for Seth Brown off of waivers, 2 for 3 with an RBI. Brian Bayo off of waivers, who did not pitch because his start was pushed back. That sucks.
Yeah, he was supposed to start Sunday against the White Sox. So I'm going, nice, this is going to be juicy. And then on Sunday, they're like, nah, we're going to push him to Monday against the Orioles. So too bad.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
And Seth Johnson gets picked up, dropped before the start, and glad you did. What happened with this guy?
So this is a kid from the Phillies, and they announced earlier in the week that he was going to start on Sunday against the Marlins. So also I'm going, okay, cool. I'll grab this kid and see what happens. See if I need it on Sunday. And I didn't, and the kid got blown to hell by the Marlins. Like, he was just absolutely dog shit. So glad I got out of that.
This kid cost me a championship this year by doing that. That points league that we were in.
Oh yes.
I was in the finals. I was up 70 points going in, and I picked up every single pitcher on free agency, including this kid. This kid threw to like negative 40 something points.
He cost me it in the Dynasty League too. Here was a line: 2 1/3, a loss, a homer, 3 walks, no strikeouts, a 34-71 and a 471.
Yeah,
against the Marlins.
And you dodged that bullet really, really well. Yeah. What made you drop him? Why didn't you start him?
Because the pitching didn't change. So what you're seeing in the pitching is what it was going into Sunday. And with a 294 and a 105, I knew I didn't need any more pitching stats. So I didn't want a loss. I didn't want to ruin the ERA. I was happy with where things were.
Fair enough. Going back to your moves here, you dropped DL Hall for Garrett Mitchell, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, and Mason Montgomery for a clean relief appearance. Kyle Manzardo gets dropped for Michael Toglia, 0 for 3 with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Welcome to the lineup, Michael Toglia, for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
hang on to that guy.
You know, Michael Toglia, Garrett Mitchell, and Jordan Walker, the 3 guys that kept cycling through for the last couple of weeks. All of them, they hit so well when they're on somebody else's team or on the waiver wire. But when they're on my team, they're like, nah, not going to do it.
Well, we'll see. Maybe they get hot for an extended period, and because they're stuck on your team, they're just going to be good.
Yeah, maybe.
You finished out the week dropping Cutter Crawford and Seth Johnson for Aaron Ashby. Is that for the namesake?
Yeah. I figure I might as well carry my cousin for the rest of the season.
All right, sounds great. The MVP this week is Francisco Lindor, 292 with a 346 on base, 6 runs, 2 doubles, a homer, 4 RBIs, a steal, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. We had the conversation off air that whether or not he or Shohei Ohtani deserves the MVP. I'm of the feeling that if you do something historic, like go 50-50 or 45-45, you deserve the MVP, especially when your team's making the playoffs as like the number 1 seed.
And I think if you're the guy carrying your team to a playoff hunt, and you hit 30 home runs and score 100 runs and drive in 84, that's deserving. Shohei Ohtani is doing historic things that have never been done, but that's not an MVP. That's a spectacular historical season, but it's not a most valuable player. He's not the most valuable player to the Dodgers. Francisco Lindor is the most valuable player to the Mets.
Okay. Drop us in the comments or text us your choices for NL MVP.
Yes, please.
Least valuable hitter is Salvador Perez, 136, 208 on base, a double, an RBI, and 7 strikeouts. But he's been good all year, hasn't he?
He homered today.
Yeah. 25 homers, 95 RBIs, and a 270 batting average. Yeah, he's been good all year.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very
yeah,
nice.
I was very suspect when I drafted him. I didn't really want it, but I'm happy with what I got from him.
Yeah. Cade Povich is your Cy Young, 7 1/3, a win, 10 strikeouts, nothing earned in 0.68. This kid didn't deserve a second start on the team.
Nope, because I was against the White Sox, and I could throw 7 1/3 scoreless against the White Sox. So
Good point.
yeah.
And he did get bombed against Boston the next time out. I do
Yeah,
remember seeing
so
that.
he's good against the White Sox, and that's it.
Yeah. The Cy Young is Zach Littell, even though you had a guy. That guy wasn't in your lineup. So Zach Littell is the Cy Young. 4 innings, a loss, a homer, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, of a 9 and a 275.
Yeah, but then I drop him, and like he was good today on Sunday against Baltimore, 5 scoreless innings. So go figure.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you threw to a 294. Like, we're not going to find that many either.
I think this is the lowest ERA I've thrown to all year long.
That's awesome. It comes in the final week against Mike Haber.
Yeah, go figure. Where it doesn't really matter at all. But yeah, this is by far because I've always been up in the stratosphere with the ERA, but this week it worked out.
Yeah, this was really strong. For Mike on his bench this week, he goes 5 for 18. That's a 278 batting average. 4 runs, a double, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The 2 doubles would have played, and the 3 walks, obviously, since you guys tied that category. His moves this week looks like he only used 5 of them. He dropped Adrian Morejon for Trevor Story in a return from the IL, 1 for 4 with an RBI and 2 strikeouts. He drops Big Christmas Jackenzie Noel for Luis Ortiz, who was serviceable against Washington. And he dropped Jeff McNeil, Anthony Rizzo, and Calvin Fauché for Jesus Tinoco, clean relief appearance, and TJ Friedel, 1 for 3 on the bench, and left the game due to shortness of breath. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was on Saturday against us. He left because I remember watching the game, and they were like, we don't think that he was ejected, but we don't know why he got pulled, and it was because he couldn't breathe apparently.
All right, having a hard time breathing. Get him some oxygen. He added Max Scherzer as well because he's on his way back, and that's the third person to add Max Scherzer this year.
Well, because he just lost Jeffrey Springs to the IL. Luis Castillo left his start on Sunday with a strained hamstring, so he's going, oh shit! Like right now, Nate Eovaldi is my only like real pitcher on this team. Although, I mean Matthew Boyd's been okay, but so yeah, he needed somebody to. I mean,
you never want to hinge
whatever you can get out of Scherzer is going to be gravy, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you never want to hinge your championship aspirations on, well, Matthew Boyd's been okay.
Right.
That doesn't
give me
sound
somebody
like
who I can at least rely on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a name. Will he be good? I don't know. Hopefully, the Rangers hope so. If Scherzer wants to pitch beyond this year, he hopes so.
Yeah.
His MVP this week is going to be Lawrence Butler. 321 with a 367 on base, 4 runs, 3 doubles, a homer, an RBI, a stolen base, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Is this kid real?
I don't know. I 21 homers, 54 RBI. I mean, 54 RBI speaks probably more to Oakland than him.
Yeah, but he's their leadoff hitter, so like
right. 56 runs. Yeah, he's going to get a chance to play. So
yeah, I think he's 270 with 14 steals. Like this could be a guy to fill out your outfield at the end of a draft.
Yeah, if he makes it that long, I think he might go. He might be a mid-round, a mid-draft, mid-draft guy.
Like 15th through 20.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. We'll have to see next year, but I think he's really proven himself. Him, Rooker, and Bleday are a pretty good outfield trio to have.
Yeah.
They'll be on somebody else's team in a couple of years, but for now, they're the outfield of the Oakland A's. The least valuable hitter this week goes to Nick Castellanos, 182 with a 250 on base, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. And this guy has been the one piece of the Phillies lineup that I haven't enjoyed watching because he hasn't been very consistent.
No,
and he kills rallies all the time.
he's only hitting 246. Like,
Yeah.
like so is Alonso, but Alonso at least has 30 bombs. Like this guy's got 19.
Right.
So, um, Aaron Judge also had a kind of a down week too. Also hitting
Mhm.
182, but he walked 4 times because who else are you going to pitch to in that lineup?
Yeah, and he still had 2 doubles and 2 RBIs and a stolen base. Like, he had a
Yeah,
decent week with the
yeah,
counting stats. Castellanos just gave you practically nothing.
no,
But there again, like, to go back to what we were talking about with Cody's lineup, like, this lineup is kinda scary too.
oh yeah, especially now he got Christian Walker back.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
And
Trevor
Jesus
Story.
and Junior Caminero is his third baseman now, like, permanently. Trevor Story's his shortstop now. Like, he upgraded this team at the end of the season a lot
Yeah,
without having to trade anybody.
and don't sleep on Josh Smith here with Corey Seager out. He's going to get everyday reps for the Rangers, and he's still
Mhm.
hitting well.
Yeah, man. The Cy Young this week for Mike is going to be Ryan Walker. 4 innings, a win, 2 saves, a walk, 3 strikeouts, an 050 whip, and 3 relief appearances. And he gets the namesake of the team.
Yes,
Fear the White Walkers.
well, because there's 2 walkers. He got Ryan and Christian,
Yeah, he does have the other Walker, doesn't he?
and they're both white.
That's crazy. The Cy Young goes to Chad Green or uh, who's the other guy?
Robert Suarez.
Robert
They're
Suarez.
both, yeah, both of them got blown up this
Oof.
week. Yeah,
Yeah, they got exploded. 21.60 ERAs and 3 whips apiece.
yeah,
Suarez at least got a save, but I digress.
yeah. I mean, but Chad Green, I think he blew 2 in a row,
Mhm.
um, like literally like back to back, and I thought he had blown one earlier in the week too, but maybe not. But yeah, he's been not good.
Mhm. They were talking about him on the broadcast tonight while we were playing
Yep.
the Blue Jays that, they've pieced together this bullpen and here comes Tommy Nance out of the bullpen and I'm like, "Who is this guy? Who are any of these Blue Jays that we're playing right now?"
Yeah,
There are like 5 guys on the Blue Jays that I had never heard of before in my life.
their infield is all rookies.
Yeah. Who is Leo Jimenez?
You're right.
Who is
And
that guy?
Ernie Clement, get out of here.
That guy doesn't belong on the team. Like I I don't know who any of the Blue Jays are anymore. It's
It's
very
sad.
it is because this was supposed to be another good team that was on the rise a couple of years ago and now Vlad's going to be a free agent after next year.
Yeah, and Bo Bichette might be traded or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I think either one of those guys could be traded next year or this offseason.
Yeah, yeah,
Crazy. Crazy. All right, let's move on to the next matchup. Let's jump into what was another really close matchup between Josh Haber and Henry Collins. Henry getting the 11-10 win over Josh this week. On Sunday, it looks like it was 11-9 going in, and Henry took a loss that gave that stat to Josh, but he still wins. Unfortunate that Henry takes that Sunday loss. Where did it come from?
That's a good question, actually. It was. I don't remember who it was. Who was that?
Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, that's right. He wasn't bad, uh, except the fact that it was against the Rockies.
Mhm.
But it was, yeah, that's. I mean, I would have started Freddie Peralta against the Rockies.
Yeah, I think I would have too. I mean, depending on what I need in the matchup, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the only thing that changed on Sunday. Close
yeah.
categories this week. Josh wins by 3 runs, 2 triples, 2 home runs by a hitter, 3 RBIs, 2 errors, a loss, a save, and 8 ticks on the whip. Henry won nothing close, and they did not tie in anything.
Yeah, everything that Henry won, it was pretty much a runaway.
Mm-hmm. For Henry on his bench this week, he goes 6 for 20. That's an even 300 with 3 runs, a double, 2 RBIs, a stolen base, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He had to be perfect in order to get the runs in. Otherwise, none of it matters. None of it plays.
Yeah.
He used all 10 ads, but 6 of them on Sunday. So we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
He drops Parker Meadows for Lars Nootbaar, 2 for 5 with a steal, a strikeout, and an error. He drops Brian Hudson for Alejandro Kirk, 2 for 5 with a run, an RBI, and 2 strikeouts, and drops Max Kepler, whom he traded for at the deadline. For David Festa, 5 innings, a loss, a walk, 7 strikeouts, a 360, and a 120 at Tampa. Domingo Germán gets dropped for Landon Knack, 6 innings and a 3 ERA against Cleveland. And he drops David Festa. And then here comes Sunday.
Yeah.
Alejandro Kirk, Luke Raley, Ramon Laureano, Craig Kimbrell, Dylan Moore, Luis Garcia Jr. Those are the 6 drops. Here we go with the ads. Jesus Sanchez, 1 for 2 with a run, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Nathan Lukes, who did not start. Johan Rojas, who did not start. Jared Chiolo, who did not start. Hunter Strickland was after the bell, and Jose Quijada was after the bell. All of those guys are for me on Monday. Every single one of those fucking guys.
Yeah.
Those 5 dudes who did not start are for me on Monday. Thank you, Henry.
It was a pretty sound strategy, though. I think, like, go for it. Go for Monday. Go for the quarterfinals. Like,
set yourself up.
Yeah, because like at this point, you're pretty sure you're in. So set yourself up to keep it going. And it's funny. I picked up Jesus Sanchez a couple weeks ago when the Marlins were in Colorado, and Henry messaged me all up in a tizzy that I got him before he did, and Sanchez sucked. Like, I was like, you can have him, and now he finally has his man.
Strong work, Henry. I love the strategy. I love the gameplay here. It's and you still got the win. Like, you got the win, and you did all of this shit to set up for Monday. So congratulations, man. You really proved that you're deserving of that 6th spot. And good luck to you this week. Good luck. His MVP this week is going to be Nathaniel Lowe. I'm sure that just kills Ben to hear. It was a 409 with a 517 on base, 3 runs, a double, a homer, 4 RBIs, 5 walks, and 7 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter is Bobby Witt.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not good.
For what you expect of him, it wasn't a great week.
That's not good for me, because that means he's probably going to be hot this week. 227 with a 292 on base, a run, 2 doubles, an RBI, a stolen base, a walk, and a strikeout. That's an off week for Bobby Witt.
Well, so far tonight, he's 1 for 4 with a run and 2 strikeouts. So there you go.
All right, I'll take it. The Cy Young is Luis Gil in his return from the IL. 6 innings, a win, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, nothing earned, no 50. And the Cy Young goes to Clay Holmes because he sucks at his job.
Yeah, but there was a lot to choose from here. Like, Tyson Miller was bad, Jorge Lopez was bad, Justin Martinez was bad, like Camilo Doval was bad. It was a rough pitching week.
It was ugly. It was ugly, but you know what? He still made it in.
Absolutely.
Still made it in, still won the week. He gets the potentially the tiebreaker against Josh. I don't know how they finished last year. If they end up facing each other, they would only be able to face each other in the finals.
Right.
But
who knows? Who knows?
If they get that far, we shall see. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. What was that matchup back in week 7? I'm gonna look it up.
What was that?
In case Josh and Henry meet in the finals, we need to know what
Josh won 14-6.
Okay, so he's got the tiebreaker.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Now I got to go back to the matchup that I was talking about. So yeah, good week from Josh. Better week from Henry. Both these guys playoff bound, so I'm sure they were just like, "I'm happy to get out of this week and just go to the dance."
Yeah. Should we hit Josh's team?
I think that's a decent idea at this
Okay.
point.
Because he played well.
Josh's Josh's bench stats this week. He goes 1 for 7. That's a 143 batting average with a double, 3 RBIs, a walk, 2 strikeouts, and an error, and none of it plays. He used 5 ads this week. He added Jack Kohanowitz and then dropped that guy the same day. Dropped Tim Hill for Gavin Williams after the bell, and then benched him for his start, which he was terrible in. Who was the start? Was that the start against the Dodgers?
It was, yeah. So he picked out Gavin Williams, but it was after the start, after the game started in the first game, and then didn't start him for the second game, so he never actually played him.
He drops Adrian Del Castillo for Shea Langoliers, 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Yo, Shea Langoliers is a sleeper for me next year.
Yeah, he seems to be coming into his own now.
Yeah, he's kind of figuring it out.
Yeah, and he's part of that. We talk about these A's that are not they're not the joke of the league. And
Shea Langoliers could definitely be my like round 22 catcher. I'll be happy with that.
If he lasts that far,
I hope he would.
Yeah, I mean 25 home runs, like that's something.
That's something. He dropped Brian Hoeing for Caden Dana, who was benched in a horrible start in Texas. And he dropped Jordan Wicks for I almost said Jack Kohanowitz again. Nope, it's Josh Winkowski, who never pitched.
Yeah. So it was a very interesting waiver ads this week.
I think he's again just setting up for for what he was gonna do in week 23 in the quarterfinals, and then beyond that, he's sitting with the bye.
Yes, yeah.
I'm stalling because I clicked off of the matchup and now I'm getting it right back because we're going to talk about Josh's MVP, which is Mookie Betts. Of course it is.
Right.
409 with a 480 on, 409 with a 480 on base percentage, 7 runs, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 8 RBIs, a steal, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter is Adolis Garcia. 0-48 with a 125 on base, a run, a homer, 4 RBIs, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts, and on the season, this guy has been a disaster.
Yeah. 218 with 22 homers.
Right? It's just not what you would want out of Adolis Garcia. Where was he drafted? Third round. Third round.
Yeah, that's a bust.
That is a bust in the 3rd round.
Yeah. But look, the Rangers have been, that kind of speaks to how the Rangers have been, right? He's been bad and the Rangers have been bad. So.
Yep. You know who hasn't been bad? Logan Gilbert, 14 innings, a loss, 2 homers, 2 walks, 19 strikeouts, a 386 and an 057. This guy once again has made every single start this year and is in line to do 33 starts each of the last 3 years.
So is he dependable, or do you go, that's a lot of miles on that arm, I'm worried?
I think he's just dependable at this point. Like, yes, I think eventually this will catch up with him. Could it be next year? Sure. Could it be 5 years from now? Yeah. Could it never happen? Maybe.
Yeah.
He's 7 wins and a 3.15 ERA, 0.88 WHIP. He's an absolute ace at this point, and I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be in the top 12 of starting pitchers next year.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the 7 wins speaks more to the Mariners than it does for him. I mean, the game that he lost this week, he threw 8 innings and struck out 10 and took a loss.
Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely reliable. I would lean on him he could anchor a staff next year.
Yeah, I agree.
The Cy Young is just about everybody else. Kenley Jansen had an ERA in the hundreds. Ryan Thompson was bad. Kevin Ginkel was bad. Eduardo Rodriguez was bad.
Yeah, it was just a bad, like, I mean, he pitched to a 6.26 ERA for the week.
Mhm.
Which is kind of, I feel like that's been the case lately. I've seen a lot of high ERAs out of Josh, so that's something to look for.
Well, I mean, the rotation isn't exactly anything to write home about right now. What is it? It's Logan Gilbert and a whole bunch of relievers. Reed Detmers, Gavin Williams, Caden Dana.
And Eduardo Rodriguez, like, but yeah,
Yeah, this is.
it's a bunch of Diamondbacks.
And the Diamondbacks are slipping.
Yeah, yeah. You know, like I said, Ginkel's been bad. Seawald was bad. Ryan Thompson was bad. Um, Rodriguez was bad. So all the Diamondbacks are not pitching well.
Been a tough road for Josh to get here, but I'm really happy that he's getting this by. It's another opportunity for him to kick back and go, okay, that was a really hard run. I didn't catch my brother, and I'm now sitting in second place. Let's see who I've got in the next round.
Yeah, yeah, and he can just kind of sit back and watch, tinker with the lineup if he needs to. You know, make fine tune things as he sees he needs to. But I mean, if the pitching can figure itself out, it's not bad. It is a lot of Diamondbacks and Red Sox. Like, he's got a lot of the same two teams on here, so
yeah,
you know, that's an interesting dynamic. But
it's a strategy.
The offense is good enough, and it's Josh. I think he can make a run here.
Okay, we shall see. I really do hope he does make a run. Like, he was a finalist last year. I want him to put his name on that trophy this year. I'm rooting for him. Oh, underneath myself, obviously. So let me ask you that question. Who do you have now that the six are enshrined? I was going to ask this later on, but now that we're here, we've got the six. Who are you rooting for?
Who am I rooting for? I personally, like, I would love to see Cody on that trophy, because first of all, he's a rookie, and I brought him into the league, so that gives me kind of a little bit of a loyalty. So I'd like to see that. But then, yeah, if not him, I think Josh is definitely, probably the most deserving. He's been here forever. It's been, I know it's been a long road for him, so I'd love to see him on the trophy too.
Yeah, you should definitely be rooting for Josh Haber, because we have to root against Mike Haber. We can't have a back-to-back champion again. That's not cool. It's not cool. That's me and Jay Ferraro. That's our thing. And no, I'm just kidding. Like, we'll be happy to show you the secret handshake when you win the second title. All right, let's move on to my matchup with Adam, who takes down the 11-9 win in a comeback Sunday. Because on Sunday I was leading 10-9, and it ends up 11-9 in his favor. Looks like he won runs and flipped walks by a pitcher.
Yeah, you walked too many guys.
I did. Josh Hader gave up a walk. I remember that was the bad one. I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
I lose that category. Close categories: Adam wins by 2 home runs by a hitter, a stolen base, 3 innings, 2 walks, a loss, 3 walks by a pitcher, and a relief appearance. I win by 2 errors, and we did not tie in anything except triples with 0.
Yes, that you did tie in that.
We did tie in that. For Adam on his bench, he goes 3 for 9. That's a 333 with a run, a double, a homer, 2 RBIs, 4 strikeouts, and an error, and none of that plays. He used 2 ads this week. Tyler Phillips, who got absolutely blown up against Toronto. 8 earned runs, it looks like.
Yeah, 8 earned runs. You got 2 outs in the first inning and gave up 8 runs, and that was it.
Bye. He dropped Brian Bayo for that guy. He dropped Elvis Peguero and Tyler Phillips for Ronnie Henriquez, who had a clean relief appearance, and then dropped Henriquez outright. His MVP this week, yeah, it's Eugenio Suarez. That dude wore me the fuck out this week. 462 average with a 533 on base, 12 runs, 2 doubles, 4 homers, 5 RBIs, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts with an error.
This guy, like, he's been flying around the league lately because nobody hangs on to him, but like he's been red hot.
He wore me out this week. It was just annoying. Every time I saw him come up to plate, I'm like, please just don't. No.
Yeah. And also that means it helps the Diamondbacks, which does not help the Mets.
I
So
know.
it's double whammy.
I know. The least valuable hitter is William Contreras, 167 with a 318 on base, 2 runs, a homer, 2 RBIs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, and an error. Apparently, Brian Reynolds was bad and India was bad as well, but they had a lot more RBIs.
Yeah, Reynolds had 6 RBIs and India walked 5 times, so it was a little bit better.
Yeah. The Cy Young goes to David Peterson.
Woo-hoo!
All right. 6 innings, a win, a walk, 11 strikeouts, a 150 and a 117. I have his autograph somewhere over in that general direction.
Nice.
I have him, John Neese, and Steven Matz all together.
Beautiful.
Because, that's the lineage of lefties
that have come and gone, and
yeah.
hopefully Peterson, will be around for a while.
I hope Peterson's the best one of the 3 because the other 2 haven't left much to live up to. The Cy Young goes to Tyler Phillips. We talked about it. It was terrible. It was hideous.
I mean, 2/3 of an inning is an 81 ERA, like in a start. That wasn't a relief appearance. That was a start.
Yeah. For me on my bench, I went 13 for 42. That's a 310 batting average. 3 runs, 5 doubles, 2 RBIs, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts, and none of that plays.
Good job.
Thank you. 8 ads this week as I set up for the playoffs. I dropped Eric Miller for Josh Young, 2 for 3 with a homer, 2 RBIs, and a stolen base. Thank you, that guy. You don't get a spot on the team because I have Manny Machado, but thank you, that guy. Zach Kelly gets dropped for John Brebbia, clean relief appearance. Mackenzie Gore gets dropped for Justin Verlander off of waivers. I was shocked that nobody else was putting in a waiver claim because it's Justin Verlander. But okay, I'll just take this Hall of Fame dude and plug him in as my 5 starter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of Verlander these days. Like I think it's over. I think it's over.
Yeah,
I really do. I didn't
he was really bad against Arizona.
Huh?
He was really bad against Arizona.
Yeah.
He's got to start against the Angels this weekend, so that's what I'm hoping for.
That'll be a good test. Like if he can right the ship against them, okay. But if he gets rocked again,
then yeah. He's off the team.
Yeah.
He would be off the team. I dropped John Brebbia for Brennan Bernardino, who gave me a clean relief appearance. Dropped Josh Young for Zach Kelly, who gave me a clean relief appearance. And then on Sunday, picked up Eric Miller for a clean relief appearance. Dropped Bernardino for Ryan Yarbrough for this week, and picked up and dropped Zach Kelly for Joey Wentz, who apparently continues to work at Rite Aid because he does not pitch for the Detroit Tigers.
Nope, he does not.
MVP this week is Kyle Schwarber. Woohoo! Welcome back, buddy. 462 with a 500 on base percentage, 9 runs, 3 doubles, 5 homers, 11 RBIs, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter is Darno. Okay, 182 with a 357 on base, 2 runs, a double, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and an error. But the Phillies were really good this week.
Yeah, the Phillies came back to life, and your offense showed. I mean, 344 with a 408 on base, like you absolutely crushed it this week.
Yeah, it was sick. 39 runs or 39 RBIs, 36 runs scored, and I can't win the runs scored category because he got 44. 15 doubles is wonderful. 23 walks should play every single week. He got 30. I had a 408 on base percentage. He had a 395.
Yeah. And he had a 295 average, which is good too, but I ain't gonna live up to a 344.
No, I should have rocked anybody this week. I should have absolutely rocked them with a 247 ERA and a 344 batting average.
Yeah.
I should have crushed somebody this week and I lost. Go figure. The Cy Young this week is Garrett Cole because of course it is. He's so good. I'm totally drafting him again next year. 12 innings, a win, a loss, 2 walks, 16 strikeouts, an 0.75 ERA, and an 0.75 WHIP. He took a minute to get going, but now he's pitching like fucking Cole.
Yeah, yeah. He's shaking off the rust. 6
Yeah.
innings in 4 of his last 5 starts. Pretty solid.
Yeah. 7 or more in 4 of his last 5. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Cy Yuck this week goes to Marcus Stroman. I really didn't want to have to do that, but I did. 3 2/3, a loss, a walk, 3 strikeouts, a 12.27 into 2.73. I just knew that was going to be a bad start, but I had to get over the finish line of innings for the minimum. And he and Darvish were both going, so it's okay, guys. Go ahead. I don't know who's going to be bad.
And Darvish, it was his first start back in like 3 months. He had been hurt. He had a personal issue, so he let that slide. But yeah, Stroman was just bad.
Yep. I'm hoping Darvish can get his season going as well. He's got Seattle coming up, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And then if you look at my rotation, it's Framber Valdez, Garrett Cole, Yu Darvish, Justin Verlander, Marcus Stroman, Jacob deGrom is coming.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that if they're all pitching like they're supposed to, that's ridiculous.
It's stupid. It's
and
absolutely
you still have,
stupid.
And you still have Josh Hader and Evan Phillips at the back end of the bullpen.
Mm-hmm. I've got a way to get saves. I've got a ton of guys to throw. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping for the best.
It's definitely set up to be something nice. That's for sure.
And I got a nice little Ryan Yarbrough relief appearance today.
Yeah. He was really good against us.
All right. Let's move on to the next matchup here. It is Brian Lebo taking on Frank Bucco. Hey guys, welcome to the program. Brian gets the 12-7 win to knock Frank out of the consolation bracket and down to 14th this year. Disappointing season for Frank. I know that he's already moved on to fantasy football at this point, so he's hopefully just listening for the laughs and the fun and the camaraderie. We appreciate you, Frank. We
Love you,
really
Frank.
do. And I'll be seeing him on Wednesday. He's going to come up here. We're going to play some backyard baseball.
There you go. See,
nice. It'll be fun. Let's see. So Brian gets the 12-7 win on Sunday. Going in, it was 14-7. So Frank was able to tie runs and homers, but not too much more.
That was it.
Close categories this week. Lebo wins by 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, 3 walks by a hitter, 3 strikeouts by a hitter, an error, a win, 3 losses, 3 home runs by a pitcher, and 3 strikeouts by a pitcher. God, he won everything close.
Yeah, everything that he won was close.
Everything.
Except for relief appearances.
Frank wins by 2 triples, 4 ticks on the batting average, 4 ticks on the on-base percentage, 2 saves, and 2 ticks on the whip. This thing was razor thin, and it goes 12-7. That was really...
And it was 14-7. I mean, the runs and the home runs got tied.
Yeah.
It was 14-7, going in, and which looks like a lopsided score, but it was very close.
Mm-hmm. For Lebo on his bench, he goes 2 for 16. That's a 125 batting average. He used, let me say he had a run, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. The run would have played, and the 6 strikeouts would have lost him that category. So good job keeping those out of there. He used all 10 ads this week. He added Bo Naylor, 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Tom Cosgrove, who never pitched and got optioned to AAA, poor guy. And Hunter Biggie. Is that how we're pronouncing that? Biggie. Can he see? I don't know. Tom Cosgrove gets dropped for Martin Perez, who had a really good start in Detroit, and I was thinking about that one. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped Josh Naylor for Ryan McMahon, 1 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. And here's the Josh Naylor drop.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I know he was banged up, but it wasn't. I don't think it was enough to drop him.
Yeah. Ryan McMahon gets dropped for Ty France, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Bo Naylor gets dropped for Mickey Moniak, 1 for 4 with a run. But Real Muto's hurt, so he has to go back to a catcher.
Yeah, it's like the same day that he dropped Bo Naylor, Real Muto got hurt. So it was like, oops, needed that catcher.
Yeah. Aaron Savale gets dropped for Brant Hunter, who was good as a bulk reliever. Dropped Ty France for Kyle Gibson, who was really good against Seattle. 6 2/3, 9 strikeouts, nothing earned in an 0.90.
Yeah.
Dropped Mickey Moniak for Victor Caratini, who was on the bench. The MVP this week goes to
There's the backup
JT
catcher.
Realmuto.
Yeah.
And here's Realmuto again as the MVP. 462 with a 533 on base, 2 runs, a homer, 3 RBIs, a steal, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter is Mason Wynn, 077 with a 111, 2 runs, a double, a walk, 8 strikeouts, and 2 errors. The Cy Young goes to Kyle Gibson, who I told you about. The Cy Young goes to the worst start of the season for Spencer Arrighetti. What a terrible, terrible start this was. 2/3 of an inning, a loss, a homer, 3 walks, a 40-50, and a 12. There were people whose playoff lives depended on this start, and this is what he throws out.
Yeah, he got just wasted in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Just got blown apart. And you know what? Like, at least Lebo was able to mitigate it and get the ERA category.
Yeah, I mean, 302, when you throw a guy who pitched to a 40-50, and he has Tim Mesa who had pitched to an 81, and you still pitched to a 302 for the week. That's pretty solid.
Pretty damn impressive. For Frank on his bench this week, he goes 9 for 23. That's a 391 batting average with 4 runs, a double, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Looks like the homer was Jackson Merrill.
Yeah, it was right around when he got hurt, and I think he had benched him, thinking he wasn't going to play, and then he did play, and I don't know what happened. I also feel like maybe Frank was a little checked out, so yeah.
Yeah, he only used 5 ads this week. Added Ryan O'Hearn, 2 for 5 with a run, a double, a walk, 2 strikeouts, and an error. Dropped Andrew Vaughn for Eli Morgan, who had a clean relief appearance. Grant Holmes for Garrett Clevenger, who was bad in his relief appearance. Dropped Dylan Lee for Will Vest, a 2-inning clean relief appearance with 3 strikeouts. He dropped Christopher Morel for Josh Young off of waivers, 0 for 3 with a walk. That's it. And yeah, I think you're right. I think Frank was a little checked out this week. I think he was a little checked out altogether. And I think he's on to football.
Yep.
I mean, this matchup really didn't matter much when you really think about it, because he's not going to knock Mike. I mean, at least he was not going to knock anybody out of the playoff contention in this matchup. So
no, and it was just a matter of whether he was going to make it into the consolation or not. But yeah, I get it.
I know Frank's disappointed with what happened this year. I know he's disappointed with the team and how it, just sort of fell apart on him. And it's disappointing that he's sitting down here again this year.
Yeah. And really,
he had a really nice year last year. He finished 33 over 500 and missed the playoffs.
Yeah. And really the same could be same about Lebo. Like, I mean, he's in the consolation bracket, but like he's also, I mean, these two guys, I don't know if anybody's hungrier than these two guys, like when you think about it. And neither of them can really get out of their own way.
Yeah. Key players this week, we will talk about the MVP for Frank's team. It's the last time we'll talk about him this year. It's Shohei Ohtani. 292 with a 370 on base, 6 runs, a triple, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter is Jackson Holliday, who hit 167 with a 250 on base, a run, a double, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. The Cy Young goes to Jose Barrios, 6 innings, a win, a walk, 5 strikeouts, a 150, and a 1. Congratulations on that guy.
Yeah, and that was against the Braves, so that was fun.
Garrett Crochet is the Cy Young, 2 innings, a loss, a homer, a walk, 3 strikeouts, an 18 and a 3. When he picked up Crochet, I think it was about a week ago now.
Yep.
I was on the phone with him and he's like, "Oh, Garrett Crochet?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "They're babying him. They're not going to throw him more than 4 innings anymore." And he's like, "Fuck it. I'm picking him up. You guys can't have him for the playoffs."
Yeah. And the thing is, he was good against us that one start against the Mets, but he hasn't been really good either, like in these baby starts. So it's kind of ugly.
Yeah. Yeah. Frank, we appreciate what you've done for the league this year, and we hope you have a better season next year. But this was a hell of a run for Brian Lebo as well in the second half, getting himself up out of the basement at one point
Yeah.
to get into the consolation bracket. So good for you, Lebo. We hope you do well in the consolation bracket, and hope you guys had fun this season.
Lebo, I hope to see you in the bracket. Bring it on.
Oh, that's that. All right, let's move on to the next matchup here. It is Ari Nisman taking on Kostas Paragis. It's a 10-9 win for Ari. It was a 9-10 lead for Kostas going into Sunday. Ari took a loss to tie that category and walked too many to flip that, but got the innings and strikeouts to sneak a comeback win. Is that what I'm gathering here?
Yeah. It all came down to that. He flipped the innings and the strikeouts. For a guy who doesn't throw pitchers, he threw just enough to get this comeback.
Close categories this week. Ari only wins by an inning and 2/3. Kostas wins by 2 walks, an error, a win, 2 walks by a pitcher, and 4 relief appearances. Only 4 relief appearances. That is mind-boggling because people are blowing Ari out like 23-7. You know,
Right.
It's like a football score.
I mean, I guess. Look, I guess at the end of the day, you know your opponent. You don't need to go heavy on relief appearances because you're going to win anyway. So why bother?
Yeah. And he won walks and home runs given up, so he wasn't unnecessarily like throwing people in order to inflate stuff.
Yeah.
They tied in triples and losses. For Ari on his bench this week, oh Christ, here we go. It's 15 for 68. That's a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. Last couple of weeks have been a lot lighter.
Yeah, that's a 221 batting average with 6 runs, 5 doubles, a triple, which would have won him the category, 3 homers, 9 RBIs, a steal, 4 walks, 22 strikeouts, and 2 errors. The 2 errors would have lost him that category. So good job keeping that out of your lineup. Unfortunately, the triple was from Rafaela on Monday.
Yeah. Nowhere to get him in, but that's what happens.
Yeah. He used 4 moves this week, which is surprising. All on pitchers. He dropped Walter Pennington, whoever that is, and Ryan Mountcastle for Andre Palante, who was very good in his start against Milwaukee. He dropped Lourdes Gurriel, who finally gets to play fantasy baseball this year because he's been on Ari's bench every single day the entire year.
Yeah, but now he's on the injured list, so he's not playing fantasy.
So he's not playing fantasy baseball anymore. Terrific, because he's not playing real baseball anymore. Well, he dropped him for Tyler McGill, who had 4 innings, a walk, 3 strikeouts, a 6.75, and a 150 against Boston.
But damn, was he good tonight?
He was really good tonight.
Yeah.
Dropped Andre Palante for Miles Michaelis, who was horrible against Seattle, and dropped Cooper Criswell for Zach Littell, who was very good against Baltimore. His MVP this week is Cal Raleigh. He's got like 30 homers, doesn't he? Cal Raleigh?
He's got 29, 90 RBIs.
345 average, 394 on base, 6 runs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, a steal, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. What an incredible season from that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's only batting 213, but like, I think you don't care.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it is just really good.
Because 30 homers and 100 RBIs exists.
And he's thrown in 6 steals for, a power hitting catcher. Like,
wow.
Okay.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's not nothing.
Right.
Yeah. You know who gave nothing? Giancarlo Stanton, 087 with a 160 on base, a run, a double, a homer, an RBI, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. He's had an okay season. He's actually been able to stay on the field for an extended period of time.
100 games played. He's got 25 homers, 62 RBIs. Like, I think at this point, that's what you're looking for from him.
Yeah, and not a whole lot else.
Yeah.
That's
it.
That's it. The Cy Young is either Tobias Myers or Sonny Gray. I'm going to give it to Sonny Gray. 7 innings, a walk, 7 strikeouts, a 129 and an 071. The Tobias Myers did have 11 strikeouts, however. The Cy Young goes to Miles Michaelis, but a shout out to Blake Snell here.
Yeah, so Blake Snell threw 42 pitches in an inning. In his start, what was it against Arizona? So he only went one inning. That was it. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. But like it was just really weird. Like, yeah, I don't know how you throw 42 pitches in your opening inning.
Yeah, and then get pulled.
Yeah,
because you threw too many. We got to hold those bullets for next week.
yeah, for the playoff run that we're not going to make.
Exactly. All right, for Costas on his bench this week, he goes 4 for 22. It's a 182 batting average with 2 runs, a triple, 2 RBIs, and a strikeout. He could have had innings on Sunday, but he benched a surprising win from Taillon.
Yeah, so he benched Jameson Taillon against the Yankees, which makes sense, but Taillon was terrific against the Yankees and got a win, so that would have given him that would tied the win category.
And where'd the triple come from? Looks like Saturday.
It was Jose Miranda. Yeah, he had Zach McKinstry in there who went over 2. Again, when you're banking on Miranda to hit a triple.
Yeah, right. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
He used 9 ads this week. He starts off dropping Jonah Bride for Seth Brown over 3 with 2 strikeouts. Hunter Strickland for Miguel Rojas, 1 for 5 with a strikeout. And drops Lamont Wade Jr., whom he traded for Justin Turner, 1 for 3 with an RBI and a walk.
Yep.
He dropped Seth Brown, who went 3 for 4 with the homer and 2 RBIs that day, for Freddie Fermin, 0 for 3 with a walk. He dropped Justin Turner for Chris Taylor, 0 for 2 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Dropped Taylor for Jared Triolo, 1 for 3 with a run, with 2 runs, an RBI, and a walk and a strikeout. And Jose Miranda, who went 1 for 4 with a run and 2 strikeouts.
And the bench triple.
He drops Jared Triolo and Grant Holman for DJ Hers, who was good in his start against Pittsburgh, and dropped Jose Caballero for Jose Quintana, who was really good in his start against Cincinnati. Thank you very much, Q. We appreciate that. The MVP this week is Jake McCarthy, ? He had a bad week offensively, hit 186 and 276 on base percent.
Yeah, with 1 home run.
Oh, that is atrocious.
Yeah, and
the home run comes from Jesse Winker. He hit 056.
So
4 stolen bases from Josh Lowe. He hit 192 and 8 strikeouts.
Yeah.
There's nobody here that's really going to sustain. Yeah, no. Jake McCarthy hit 280 with a 308. There you go.
Yeah. That's I mean, it was a good week. It wasn't a great week, but it was good enough.
Everybody else is the least valuable hitter because they all didn't do well. The Cy Young goes to Jameson Taillon. Even if he had a better start on Sunday, so he had a good start during the week as well.
Yeah. 7 innings, nothing earned, and he was just as good against the Yankees on Sunday. 6 innings with a walk and 6 strikeouts.
Nice. Kyle Harrison is the Cy Young, 2 2/3, a loss, a homer, a walk, 3 strikeouts, a 20-25, and a 3. And now it's official. Everybody who got traded in that Jordan Romano deal is on the IL.
Yeah, and Kyle Harrison had a 2025 ERA, and we'll see you in 2025, Kyle.
Yeah, he is done for the year, and so is Kyle Bradish, who was in that deal, and so is Jordan Romano, who was in that deal.
Yeah, so it's just a bunch of IL guys.
Yep. Congratulations. We appreciate these 2 guys doing what they do as well. Costas is going to end up in the consolation bracket. He's in the 10 spot this year.
Yeah, he gets me this week.
Oh, there you go. Are you excited to face Costas? Is that who you wanted to face?
Yeah, it's fun facing Costas. Okay. It's not as fun when he can't make roster moves. Because I'm always intrigued by his roster moves. But yeah, should be a fun week.
All right. Let's jump to the final matchup and get out of here on this one. It is a Jimmy Dunlap versus Mike Sherman. 14-7 win for Mike Sherman. Though neither of these guys will be playing beyond this week, so we thank you guys both very much for being here this season. 14-7 is the win for Mike Sherman. It was 16-5 going into Sunday. So it looks like Jimmy flipped runs, homers, and RBIs, but Sherman flipped innings pitched.
Yeah. So enough to keep the double up. But Jimmy made it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Close categories. Jimmy wins by 2 runs, a home run, 4 RBIs, 2 wins, and 2 losses. Sherman wins by 2 triples, 4 2/3 innings, and 2 walks. They did not tie in anything. For Sherman on his bench this week, he goes 1 for 7 with a 143, a run, a stolen base, and 2 strikeouts, and none of that plays. His moves this week, and yes, he made a bunch of them. He made 6 of them.
Yeah.
He dropped Alec Marsh, Jose Ferrer, Miles Michaelis, and DJ Hers for Gregory Soto, a clean relief appearance, and Brandon Little, a clean relief appearance. He drops Kike Hernandez for Tyler O'Neill, 3 for 4, 3 runs, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, and a strikeout. What?
Yeah, I had this guy forever, and he was doing all right, but then he got hurt, and then I finally dropped him. Sherman picks him up. He hit 2 more home runs tonight too. Like, the guy's been on fire.
God damn. Brendan Little gets dropped for JT Ginn. 5 innings, a loss, a 540, and a 160 against Detroit. Sean Armstrong gets dropped for Kyle Freeland, who was very good in his start in Milwaukee. And Whit Merrifield gets dropped for Andrew Vaughn, 2 for 4. The MVP this week, I guess Jake Fraley, another situation where these guys didn't hit all that well. This is a 226 and a 289 on base percentage for Sherman. So, yeah, not exactly a whole lot of guys to pick from. Teoscar Hernandez hit 385 with a 429, but I think that was only a few at bats.
Yeah, because he got hurt like early on in the week. Yeah, he had a 5 for 5 on Monday, but then 0 for 8 the rest of the week.
Yikes. So yeah, Fraley 333 with a 400, 3 runs, 3 doubles, 3 stolen bases, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. That'll do.
Yeah,
that'll do. Nolan Jones is the least valuable hitter with a 154 average and 200 on base with 10 strikeouts. Yikes.
Next year.
It's next year. Okay. You obviously meant 2025. Obviously.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
The Cy Young is Max Fried, 7 innings, a win, a walk, 8 strikeouts, nothing earned, in an 086. Severino was really good. Looks like I was going to say Colin Holderman was really good, but Tyler Holton looks like he was pretty good over his 3 relief appearances.
Yeah, he's been a good piece for the Tigers, like that kid.
Mm-hmm. The Cy Young goes to Spencer Schwellenbach, who was really good for Atlanta for a while. Not this time. 5 innings, a loss, 2 homers, 3 strikeouts, a 540, and a 2.
Yeah, again, Sherman pitched to a 2 ERA, so it was a good week for him.
Absolutely. For Jimmy on his bench this week, he goes 7 for 29. That's a 241 batting average. 3 runs, 2 doubles, a steal, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. None of that plays. He used all 10 ads this week, and one of them was most interesting that we'll talk about. He drops Mitch Spence, Michael Toglia, and Paul DeYoung for Spencer Torkelson, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Zach Geloff, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And Brendan Rodgers, 2 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He adds Chad Kuhl, who got exploded in his relief appearance. Tony Santillan, who got a win in his relief appearance. He dropped Luis Robert for Brooks Lee, 1 for 4. Drops Chad Kuhl for Joey Estes, 4 innings, a loss, and a 9, and a 150 against Seattle. He dropped Zach Geloff for Justin Turner, 0 for 4 with a walk. He drops Jeremiah Estrada for Ronald Acuna Jr. What? Why? I guess you just want to have that guy on the roster to remind yourself, like, this is the dude I took in the first round who should have carried me to the playoffs, and now he's on the IL for the rest of the year with a knee.
And now he'll be on his team for the whole offseason.
Yeah. He's going to stick on that team forever now. We'll be able to see that when Ronald Acuna went down with his second ACL tear in his career, he was on Jimmy's team. Okay. He dropped Miguel Amaya for Andrew Heaney, who was serviceable in his start against the Angels. His MVP this week is Connor Norby. Really? Because he hit 178 with a 248 on base percentage. When I told you that these guys hit terribly, I mean they hit terribly.
Yeah, not good. But this kid Norby has been really good since the trade from Baltimore. He's been lighting it up.
Really?
Yeah.
360 with a 360, 10 strikeouts and 3 errors. Yeah, okay. Like we'll cast those aside. But
Yeah.
3 homers and 8 RBIs with 4 runs and a double. Yeah, that's a good line. That's a really good line.
Yeah, and if you look like over the last 30 days, he's got 6 homers and 13 RBIs, hitting 329 over that time. So he's been really good since the trade.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. This is who did Baltimore get for this kid?
Trevor Rogers.
That's right. That was a terrible idea.
Yeah, but they had nowhere to put this kid, so they're like,
Yeah.
"All right, who wants him? We'll take some piece of garbage for him."
Yeah, we'll take
And
any starter we can get for him.
yeah, and now Trevor Rogers is pitching in Norfolk. So
Yikes. The least valuable hitter is Spencer Torkelson with his 080 average and 179 on base. Brooks Lee hit 083. Alec Burleson hit 091. Jeremy Pena hit 167. Like there were plenty of dudes to pick from on this one.
JJ Bleday hit 148. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was not great.
Yeah, there were some ugly numbers in Jimmy's lines this week because again, he hit 178 with a 248 on base percentage. Gross.
Yeah.
The Cy Young for him is going to be Chris Sale because, of course, it is. Might be the NL Cy Young. 13 innings, a win, a walk, 16 strikeouts, nothing earned, and a 069 nice whip. He has been unreal this year.
I mean, talk about a sale. The Braves just ripped off the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely stole him. And yeah, it's ridiculous.
And Vaughn Grissom has been nothing for the Red Sox. Absolutely nothing.
He might stay that way.
Disappointing. Yucky Matsui is the Cy Yuck here. 2 1/3 with 1543 and a 171 whip. 2 homers, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts in his 2 relief appearances. Yucky Matsui is a yucky player this year.
Cy Yucky.
Jason, let's dive into our managers of the week and get out of here because it has been a long show and I am sleepy.
Yes, let's do that.
All right, who's your number 3 manager of the week, my friend?
Some good choices this week. I'm gonna give number 3 to your opponent, Adam Lowenstein, for that comeback win on Sunday. And I don't know how much your pedal is to the metal, but still, anytime that someone takes you down in a week is noteworthy. And it was a comeback win on Sunday, so credit to Adam for that.
I hit 344 and pitched to a 240 something ERA. How much more metal can my pedal go?
Through the floor.
It went through the floor. I hit 344. All right.
But do better.
Do better. Well, you did better than Mike Haber this week, so you'll be my number 3, sir. Good job.
Thank you.
Number 2 for you, sir. Who's your number 2?
I don't know what it means for him, but I'm gonna give it to Ben.
Yeah.
He put. Look, I know it's been a rough go for him for the last couple of weeks, but he did take a win here against Bobby, another tough cookie, and end your season, end the regular season on a high note, and he did just that. So all the credit to Ben.
Yeah, absolutely, Benji. Good job. He doesn't make my top 3, but he did get a very good win. My number 2 is going to be Henry Collins for his 11-10 win over Josh Haber. Good win there against a team going for a bye and going for that number 1 spot. We know Josh was trying for that really hard, and Henry put the stop on it and put himself in the playoffs. Who you got at number 1?
It's Henry Collins. And not only did he get the win, but like you said, he also set himself up nicely for this week against you, making all those ads on Sunday. So he stamped his way into the playoffs. So I had to give number 1 to Mr. Collins.
Yeah, I think that's an oversight by me. I should give him number 1. He solidified his playoff spot. He set up for the matchup. He beat a team going for a bye. Yeah, Henry, you're number 1. Number 2 for me was going to be Adam Lowenstein now, getting the win over me. So good job. Good job.
Yeah, well done.
Jason, thanks so much for being here with me, my friend. We have got now just shortened shows to do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so we'll just do them in real slow motion so it takes the same amount of time.
Right? That would be great. Guys, thank you so much for being here as well and watching and listening and participating in this season, because it has been a wild one. It's been a lot of heartbreak, a lot of treacherous roads to get here. We've got our 6 here, and we are ready for the playoffs. Somebody is getting their name etched on that trophy. We just don't know who it is yet, and we're going to find out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, it's been real, it's been fun, and it is always real fun in the bigs. We'll see you next time.